All right, District 8 is where we're staying right now because I believe a lot of the magic, a lot of the change happens at the local level. And that's why I felt it was important to invite all the different candidates on the show. And we're going to start like this. Kesha Hodge Washinton, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, I see you in the car, and that's exactly where you're supposed to be. It's crunch time. You're out there, you're campaigning. I'm sure you're canvassing neighborhoods. First, let's just jump right into it because I don't want to take too much of your time. But yeah, let's get right to it. Who is Kesha Hodge Washinton?
Who is Kesha Hodge Washinton? Great question. It is me. I've always been a kind of person that is focused on solutions. I feel like we could always identify what the issues are, and if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And that's why I decided to step up. I have been a resident of District 8 for 20 years. I have been in the Phoenix area for 23 years. I'm originally from the Virgin Islands. I'm from America's Paradise, but I found a home here in Phoenix because of the great opportunities that are available here. It is my home away from home, and I am committed to serving the best that I know how. And I've just seen a need for more intentional and strategic leadership in District 8. We are facing a number of issues, and I want to be part of helping us solve those issues. And I'm going to go a little bit into my top two. I think my top two issues are we are facing a affordable housing, a housing instability situation, and I correlate that with homelessness. Many people are on the brink of homelessness because of the supply-demand availability issues. And also my second why in my two main issues is economic stability, economic revitalization, especially in District 8. We unfortunately have a large percentage of the population that are below the poverty level or are just barely making it. And economic development, I believe, creates stronger communities. So one of my initiatives is to help build a stronger and more diverse workforce. I believe if you give a man, the adage is true, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach a man how to fish, he can live for a lifetime. So one of my initiatives is educating more of our labor force, not just focusing, I'm all for K through 12 education, college education, but I'm also for building new opportunities in our district so that individuals who have been in the workplace for some time and the workforce for some time can still develop skills and move forward. So I envision partnerships with a number of the institutions in our district. Phoenix is slated to be almost like the semiconductor capital here in the U.S. And I think it's a great opportunity for people to learn new skills and get into those jobs where they can now elevate and go from a traditional minimum wage role to something that's able to sustain their family and counteract some of the inflation that we're seeing right now. So that's who I am. I'll give you a little bit more background about me. I'm a lawyer by trade. I've always advocated for those that need a voice and that don't have a voice, and that's what I want to do on a city council position. I really just see a need for, like I said, for intentional, strategic, and comprehensive approach to the problems that we are facing here in our district. So that's why I'm running. That's my why. Who am I? I'm a lawyer. I have been an assistant attorney general. I've worked at protected children and I did child protective services for several years. I then transitioned to private practice, where I continue to fight for those that don't have a voice. Most of my work centers around insurance issues and representing those that against the big insurance companies. I like a fight. I'm not afraid of special interests. I am just about what is in the best interest of my community, and I think that's why I'm running. The community needs intentional leadership. Public safety is something that we definitely need to address. I am for increasing the amount of officers. We need to meet the demands of our city while holding them accountable. I do not believe it's an either or proposition. I believe it can be done. I believe it's an and proposition. So those are my whys. That's who I am. I apologize for the little glitch that we had earlier, but hopefully that I answered the question.
Yeah, we still have a couple minutes left. I just want to kind of go back on talking about like the semiconductors. I do agree that this can bring jobs to the city of Phoenix. I talked with Chris Mackey last semester, and we talked about economic development, how important it is. But just knowing that we're in a drought right now, where is to find the balance between the job creations we get, but then we see cities that are bringing, again, those semiconductors. Some parts of the deals are saying that they're going to contribute within the water purification system. Some are saying they're going to guarantee this many jobs. How do we know that for the city of Phoenix, that for the people that are worried about water consumption and the drought that we're going into, we've already seen the rate increase. Where do we find the balance? What's your plan for that?
So my plan for that is one, great point, because water is semiconductor production is a water intense process, but I think we can look really close at our neighbors in Chandler. Intel has done a phenomenal job, I think, with that from the water perspective. Every drop of water at Intel is used twice, and that same technology can be used. We can, I don't want to use the word mandate, but we can strongly encourage, especially with Taiwan Semiconductor coming into the Valley, we can encourage similar development of technology. And also, I think the city of Phoenix, we can also modernize our own facilities so that we are more efficient with water. I think we are making great strides by one of the things that came out in the recent months was personal reports for every homeowner, so property owner, so they know what it is their water usage is and how that compares to the normal, whether or not, so that just that awareness helps us be more conservation minded. And I think that's a great step. So I think because of how I've seen it done with Intel and Chandler, I think it is possible for it to be done here in Phoenix. So
okay, thank you for that. Affordable housing, the unsheltered population, to me and just people I talk to every day, that is the main concern, right? I mean, you have unsheltered people for the first time in their lives because they can't afford rent. I've seen in the past couple of weeks different articles coming about how the increase in rent is just there's no regulation. And I know some people believe in less regulation, some people believe in more regulation, but again, where is it? Because that's the beautiful thing about city councils. It's supposed to be nonpartisan, right? It's working together with different people. How do you bring the solution, or what's one thing that you can present in 2023 to move that right way?
So, with respect for the affordable, the homeless situation, I'm gonna start with that first because that's the big one. I think that is something that we definitely need to address. And I know we have a plan to create more units, but those units won't be, the amount of units necessary for our city to match the demand won't be available until about 2030. That's 7 to 8 years from now. So we need a plan right now. My plan right now for the unsheltered is taking some of the vacant properties that the city already has, the vacant lots, and turning those into more of a village type situation. And there is a company called Pallet Shelter that creates these pod-like homes. And these pod-like homes are relatively inexpensive considering that you're providing somebody with a room. So that's part of the plan. And then you would provide, at this village, you would have the actual services that are needed for these individuals. And then in addition, I think we have some properties throughout the city that can be repurposed into more into housing units. And then also we need to figure out how it is that we move the possibility of creating more units more quickly. And speaking with the development community, one of the things that you've heard here is the time frame it takes for those permits and everything to be done. And I think we can streamline the process specifically for those that want to do affordable housing. So those are just the three of the things I think the city can do to help address that. The city is a little hand-tied with the fact that the state statute, does not allow for the cities to pass individual regulations that would limit rental increase. However, I believe that there's always a way around that. And you can create a program where property owners, multifamily property owners can voluntarily enroll in a program with the city that allows them where they voluntarily agree to cap their rate in exchange for a benefit. And that benefit can come in a number of ways, such as tax credit. There's a number of things that we can do. We can get the same goal. It isn't the traditional way, but the goal is still accomplished. So from the affordable housing and the homeless situation, those are my top three, actually 4 initiatives on that item.
That's 10 minutes. And I know you're out there campaigning. I don't want to hold you up anymore. Again, Tuesday, November 8th, 7 o'clock, polls close. Last words to encourage your voters to get out, and anybody who may still be on the fence about even participating, not necessarily just voting for you, but participating. Last words.
This is your opportunity to make your voice heard. If you need to back candidates that believe in what you believe in it. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So if you're not happy with the status quo, you have to participate. You don't lose your right to complain, but it makes it harder when you aren't part of the solution. So I encourage everyone to vote either early or on November 8th. If you have any questions for me or about my platform, feel free to check out my website. It's KeshaForPhoenix.com. And I have a method on there where you can contact me directly if you have any questions, because I believe that government should be responsive to the people that they serve. So I plan to be here for every individual, even those that may not have voted for me, because I believe that we make the best decisions hearing from everybody. So I want to say thank you again for having me on today. I truly appreciate it. Go out and vote, everyone.